Okay.
Meeting comes to order at 6:02. Approval of the minutes from October.
Motion to approve?
Second.
There's been a motion to approve, but you gotta tell me what the motion's for.
Motion to approve the minutes from October,
As written?
as written, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from October as written. It's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to our new member. Are you here? It's hard to tell with the mask. You don't need to wear it because you're 6 foot. Yeah, there you are. Dustin, would
Yes.
you like to introduce yourself to the rest of the board?
Sure. My name is Dustin Karstetter. I am a Keizer resident since 2012, a member of the board as of tonight, taking over, I think, for Jeff Sargent for the remainder of his term. I am 38. Professionally, I work as a return to work consultant with Special Districts Association of Oregon out of Salem. I have a wife and 3 young boys, and very happy to be part of the board.
Thank you. Appearances of interested citizens. Paul Elder. Come on up. Well, it says Mandy Elder too. You both want to speak to us?
Actually, we're kind of here for the same thing, basically. So,
Oh,
if you remember me, I'm Gavin Isley. I worked on the greenhouse.
yes.
And I just wanted to thank you so much for the money you gave me. And, what's here? I just wanted to I got done very quickly, a lot faster than we originally intended. Took about, I want to say, about 6 hours in total for doing the project. And I do have photos, but they're on my phone if you would like to see them.
Can you forward them to me and I can, via email?
I think I can eventually.
Okay, but yeah, you can pass your phone around.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
So, Mr. Chair, while you're looking that up, I know we gave you a little bit more in your grant than you originally expected. What did your final total end up being on that project?
I think it was around like $69.28.
So even lower than what you originally asked for.
Well, just a little bit higher.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I asked for like 50. There are 3 photos. This is the first one.
I'll text you via my phone. That might be easier for you to send them to me then, right?
Yep.
Okay, I can do that. You want to see them? Yes, I do. Okay, I will text you from my phone, and I'll tell you who I am, okay? Thanks.
So what were any of the unique challenges you faced when you were doing that project?
There wasn't really any unique challenges. We almost filled up on where they have the compost. We almost went over it. There wasn't really anything too bad. We got very close to cutting bricks on one side because there's like a bit of I want to say like an eighth of an inch. If it would have been an eighth of an inch over, we would have had to cut like 24 bricks down. But we didn't have to, so that was nice. Any other questions?
Good job.
Okay.
So I guess one question, if I can ask one kind of process question, if you were to make any suggestions to the board in terms of how this process went for you coming in and asking for the grant, in going through all that, do you see anything that maybe we can improve upon, or things that were easy, maybe more difficult?
It was real easy. You might want to make it more difficult for everybody else.
Any time the government can be easy is always a good thing.
I could agree on that.
I have a comment, if I may.
Yes, Ron.
Chairman. I just want to thank you for volunteering and doing a project and taking the time. By the way, you did an excellent job in your original presentation, and you're doing an excellent job now. So,
Yeah, this was kind of last minute. I didn't know I was going to come here until about 3 or 4 hours ago. And I was originally just here to get Peggy's signature, and I just decided to stay here for a little bit, and
good for you.
yep, thank
Good
you.
for you. Well, thank you very much from all of us. Man, it's beautiful. Good job. Awesome.
I think that was it.
I want one.
Just give it back to him.
What's his? Oh. I was reading. That's how much I thought it was good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
Good
it.
work.
So now we got Mandy Elder and Blaine.
Same thing.
Mind if I take off my mask?
Yes, you can take off your mask.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Blaine Elder. As many of you know, for the past couple of months, I've been working on the gazebo for my Youth Scout project. And tonight, I would like to report to you all my experience through it. And there were some things that went bad. Some things that went well, and some setbacks that occurred along the way. Before I get started, I'd like to pass around some pictures I've written down. Thank you. So what went well was the assistance of Horse Rental and Rada Paints. They were a big help in this project, and without them, I think I would have gone a lot more over budget than I have. These companies helped supply the necessary equipment and professional grade material to make this project a success. I had a lot of volunteers dedicate their time and experience to lend their support and complete the project. For the weather was actually really good for the majority of the time, but because of the wildfires, and they set me back 2 weeks, this caused some of the painting that happened to be a little bit late. So it's going to take a little bit longer to cure. The actual project was a lot longer than I had anticipated, and the budget for the condition of the gazebo really is in. Oh, sorry, I skipped. And I had anticipated the budget for. The amount of volunteer hours was double than I previously predicted. The condition of the gazebo was in really bad shape, as I think most of you can tell. The amount of rust was enormous, and the mold growing on the cedar ceilings required pressure washing. Many of the metal railings had split. We actually fixed that with a little bit of JB weld and painted over it. And just need a little bit more care. The day painting arrived, I again underestimated the amount of paint. It was over the surface area of the gazebo. We originally thought we'd need 3 gallons of paint. By the time we'd finished, we needed 9 gallons. However, by the time we had completed the project and cleaned it up a bit, the gazebo looks absolutely amazing. I'm really grateful for how it turned out. Any questions you guys have?
We thank you for doing that. It really needed to have something done with it
No problem.
5 years ago.
Pictures are good.
Sure.
Yes.
So how much over budget did you end up being?
Originally, I'd estimated that the budget would need to be $650. When we added up the amount of DTM that we needed after, and some extra supplies, we're at $923.03. So only $273 over budget.
So this project was a massive undertaking. I know looking back on it, I mean, Robert and I looked at this project probably 3 years ago, and you know, it's one of those things that's been sitting around for a long time, and the Eagle Scout that we had talked about 3 years ago looked at it and chose a different project. So this was incredibly ambitious of you. I saw you out there multiple days working on the project, and I guess the question that I might have is whether or not we have any flexibility in the program to kind of shore this up a little bit for them on the grant side. I know that we don't necessarily, I mean, if we've got the funding in the grant to be able to do it, and you guys, have you received your reimbursement yet or no?
No, I have not.
You have not. So I guess the question is maybe for us as a policy, because there's nothing that says we can't offer more at the end. But I'm just wondering, I mean, that's a pretty significant amount of money, 273. I don't know if we would be interested in maybe kind of shoring some of that up, all of it, none of it. But it's a huge project. It saved the city a tremendous amount of time and money. What was your original grant amount? You said 650?
650.
So, I mean, if you look at it, you're talking maybe just over $1,000 of total, well, actually less than $1,000 in total investment for a project that probably commercially would have cost a few thousand. So I'd just like to pose that as a question, whether or not we would want to consider something like that or not.
I think the city's really a big beneficiary of, getting this done, and I think it would be something that we should cover.
Question, do we still have additional money in the youth grant program?
Yeah, I don't either.
Robert?
They want to know if they got money on the youth grant.
We do have funds available, so if that's something you guys wish to do, there should be no problem.
You would need to move a motion to suspend the rules because it's not on the agenda, and then you could go ahead and move forward.
Yes, Roland?
I have a question. Is there anything in, I remember Brendan Smith, that was on the actual board, well, I think it was still liaison, but I remember Brendan Smith was one of the people that originally put that together, and there was no language that said, if I remember correctly, that said that we couldn't do something like that, or you couldn't do something like that, I should say.
Well, I think you're right. When we amended it a year ago to include, or 2 years ago to include the youth grant, I don't think we had anything in there that precluded additional funds. I mean, effectively, I think all we have to do is amend the original grant amount to shore it up. I mean, these things happen, right? I mean,
No, it does, and that's especially this huge project that was undertaken. So, that's just my 2 cents, but it's your decision.
That's a good point. So I guess with that, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to consider an action item to increase the grant amount, to amend the original grant amount approved before.
I second it.
Second. Okay, we have a motion that's been moved and second to suspend the rules and amend the original grant for the gazebo?
Just suspend the rules. You'll need to
Just to
vote
suspend the
separate.
rule, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Our motion was too long.
No, that's okay. But it was to do that, but you aren't going to actually approve the grant
you.
change until
So we
the
have
next
a motion on the floor to suspend the rules.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I think Clay seconded it.
Yeah, he did.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
So I guess with that said, Mr. Chair, the original grant amount was $650. He had an overage of 273, which would bring the total grant amount to 923. So I guess we could have a conversation about whether or not we want to do the full 923, do a portion of that, or what have you.
Well, if I may,
We're not to the discussion part yet.
No, we're just talking.
yeah.
Okay.
He said that the initial labor was doubled by the actual. So the match would be more than met by the amount of labor value that we got out of it. So I don't see why we wouldn't want to increase it for the full overage.
I have a question.
Yes.
Were there additional funds that you collected on top of the grant?
No, I did not.
That would cover part of that shortage?
No, but we did cut down some of the costs because we kept some of the supplies, because why wouldn't you want to keep some Rust-Oleum primer at your house?
That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you need Rust-Oleum? No.
You're not
What do you think,
gonna
Dylan?
Wait, what? What do I think about what? I would want some Rust-Oleum around in my house too, yeah.
So I guess, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to amend his previous grant application from $650 to $923. This should shore up his project and make him whole.
We have a motion to increase the grant amount to $923 to cover the additional costs for painting the gazebo. It's been seconded, and any discussion? You guys are a quiet group tonight. Is it the COVID or what?
We just want to give the kid his money.
Just want to spend money. Okay. It's Christmas time, right? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Weren't expecting that tonight, were you?
Not at all.
Good job.
Good job. One question I do have before I go sit down.
You can't get any more. We're done with all that.
Once I receive the grants, I have an envelope right here. Do I return the checks to you guys, or do I have to mail it in? The receipt. The receipt, sorry.
I can take those.
You can take these?
Yep. Thank you.
It's a good program.
And with that, am I all good?
You're all good. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your
so
hard work.
much.
Congratulations, great work.
Yes, you did a very good job. Carol Phillips.
Hi, I'm Carol Phipps. I am the Vice President of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association, and I'm here tonight to just say thank you for all the work that was done at Wallace House Park, and our neighborhood appreciates it. I was reading the report that you had over 30 volunteers, that you removed homeless camps and provided some seating, and we're grateful. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Did Dennis want to talk? No. Yes, I saw it the other night, and they did a marvelous job of cleaning out brush and filling along the paths. I assume that was from the dig out for the exercise. Okay. We move on to new old business parks reports. I'm assuming Dustin will get.
Yes, he did. He got those parks, those parks that Jeff Sargent had, and I didn't get a chance to send you an email, but I figured our chair would explain to you what this is, and 2 months from now you can have your report, unless you already looked.
I've been to I attempted to go to both parks.
All right, very good.
Northridge is a little bit difficult, but no, I wanted to be prepared. My wife and son accompanied me so that I could give at least a bit of an update.
Okay, so the general purpose of this is to keep Robert informed of any really bad stuff that's going on in the parks that he isn't aware yet. And it's also an effort to get the board to see all our parks. So we generally rotate those in January.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
just get one with these two.
Well, you pick one and one is assigned to you.
Okay.
Okay, Tanya's not here? Some people do anything to get out of the report. Dylan, did you have time to go after campaigning?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard now because there's like an hour after work where you can still go. But no, I did. I visited both of them today, and of course, Claggett is under construction, so that's happening. I'm sure Robert will fill us in a little bit more on the details of that, but it looks like it's going to be pretty sweet. I'm excited about it. And then Sunset, it looks like the neighbor is done with their like driveway project, and so that has been adjusted, and there's not, yeah, it looks good. There's adjustments, you can already see that people have, started to make a diagonal line towards the old path from the new entry. So I don't know how that shakes. I don't know if that path is like gravelled, or if it was just naturally like people walking over it over and over again, but there'll be an adjustment, it looks like there. But there's not a lot going on at that park, so because it's just a couple of benches and some grass and stuff, so it's looking good.
Actually, the path runs along a 42-inch water line by the city of Salem that crosses the river there.
Gerald Richardson put that rock in there.
Okay, well,
So I checked out the new guy's deed. He hasn't got an easement there, so this must be some kind of agreement between the city and him.
Yeah, that would be a question for Shannon.
I will ask Shannon. Thank you, Dylan. Oh, it's my turn. There's a lot of leaves on the ground in Northview and Meadows, and like Robert was saying, and I noticed that they all fell at once, which is nice for cleaning them up unless you got a bunch of parks. I just didn't see anything except at the Meadows, some of the safety stickers are starting to come off your equipment.
Like the play structure?
Yeah, just the little stickers that are on there. I know some of them are peeling off.
Okay.
Not a lot, but it's just going to get worse. And Northview, I went to look at the water problem I saw last time. I could not find it this time. So that's a good thing. And I still will find those property corners for you. Oh, there's a sign that says private drive, and its signpost is broke, and the gate, it's just laying there. I don't know where it went.
That belongs to the swimming pool club, and so they're in the process of getting that repaired. And there's an insurance claim on their end.
Somebody was angry when they hit those.
Car hit it. Yeah.
At warp speed. Dustin, you want to give it a try?
Sure. North Ridge Park, I could not find public access to the park. I understand that there is some at North Ridge Apartments, but there's no
Well,
specific.
actually, there's not an easement completed there.
Okay. So technically, I'm not aware of any public access. My wife and I
show
drove
you
around all the side streets that we could and couldn't find a parking space or a parking lot, any sort of path to enter into the park. When we looked it up online, it said that it's just undeveloped. So I don't know if there's anything in the works for turning that into more of a community access park, putting in walking paths or anything like that. So I don't know what I can really provide an update on with that one. You guys probably know the status of the park a lot better than I do at this point. I don't know if it's something that I need to present potentially, ideas for things we'd like to do with the park, or if there's things already in the works with the city to update that park.
So, if I may, you're new to the conversation that's brought up probably once a year, maybe twice a year. You are correct, there is very limited access. We do have some access to the park, but it's not in good locations. We don't have legal access to the apartment complex. We do have access to the park from the apartment complex, but we don't have legal access to the apartment complex through Ware Mart area. I will get you a map and sit down and show you where the two access points are on the east side of the park. But it's on a steep hill, and currently, no, we do not have plans to develop that park.
Okay.
There's extreme challenges with that have been looked at time and time again, and it keeps kind of just getting put on the back burner, if you will, because of those challenges. But I'll show you a map. I'll give you a map you can have, and we can sit down and talk about that maybe
East
before
side off of Verda.
the next. Yes.
Okay.
So.
Also, there's a wedge in the middle that we do not own. And the
Yeah.
accesses are off Verda, but there's probably a trailer parked on them.
Understood. As for Ryan J. Hill, I did have the chance to kind of walk through that park. Everything seems to be in good working order. Obviously, the water feature was turned off due to I'm assuming, the cooling temperatures. Unless
Deal with
there's
the water feature there?
So the water feature's been turned off for about 5 years. It actually has a bad liner and it leaks down into a vault, and inside the vault is where the pump is located, and it floods, and it does not like to flood because it is the type of pump that is not designed to be underwater. So in order to make that work properly again, it would need to be completely reconstructed. So it is currently a dry creek bed landscape feature.
all right.
I got some questions. I know I already knew this. Who put that in? And was there a warranty on it?
It was a gentleman lives down by, he worked with projects with Randy Miller.
Nutrock?
Lives over by the river.
Oh,
No.
Jerry Nutrock.
Jerry, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was him, yeah.
It was a volunteer.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I was just like, if
So
we
you
were
get
paying
to pay
some,
more.
yeah, well, I mean, if we were just paying some big company to come in and put a thing in, and then it didn't last very long, so.
And that was probably constructed about 14 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 15.
Oh, okay. That's a little longer than I realized.
Yeah.
I think I've identified the next Eagle Scout project.
Yeah.
You stole my line.
Don't fit in.
I did have one question with that park. Kind of walking through, the information kiosk is, I believe one is a Native American woman. I can't remember off the top of my head who's on the other side.
The Japanese, those are both KPIC, Keizer Points of Interest, that's
Right.
their kiosk, and it's Marie Dorian is on one side, and the Japanese recognition, because they're right across in Lavish Ditch,
Okay.
where those big onion fields are. They used to be a lot of Japanese farmers there,
Okay.
and so those articles are about that.
So I guess the question I had was that being that the park is named after PFC Ryan J. Hill, if there was, and I don't know if this would be in collaboration potentially with the Points of Interest Committee, but putting in some sort of honorarium to former soldiers, people who've served their country and potentially passed away, who are from the Keizer area, where we could create something like that, being that it is kind of a veteran-related park. I don't know if that's been discussed in the past, but that would be something that I feel would get a lot of support from the community to undertake something like that.
So if I may again, we work very closely with Ryan Hill's mother, who's been involved in the entire process of naming the park and also including the flagpoles going up. And that would be something that I would definitely want to run past her. I like her involvement in that park, considering it's dedicated to her son.
Right.
So it's not a horrible idea.
My first thought was to reach out to her, obviously,
Yeah.
being that, the family of
Yeah.
Private Hill would need
Yeah.
to kind of sign off on that. But
Yep.
that'd be something that I would want to move forward with if that was,
Okay.
something discussed and approved by the board.
Sure.
Thank you, very good. Wayne?
I've got Clear Lake Park in Palmacia. I rode my bike through Clear Lake just yesterday. Clear Lake is near Clear Lake Elementary School. It shares a field with the elementary school. We have determined there's a boundary between the school and the park. The Clear Lake has a lot of really tall trees, good place to relax or walk around, and it's got lots of open grass area. As you first go into the parking lot at Clear Lake Elementary and the park, there's a grassy area and then a bunch of trees and then another grassy area in the back. The grassy area in the back has a pathway through it connecting the neighborhood to the elementary school. Park looks good, everything's fine. We could use a bench or a table to allow people to enjoy those large trees. Palmacia is an undeveloped park. There's room for 3 cars to park there. A grassy area, very close to the Willamette River. And but can't really enjoy it because there's no bench or table. So I would recommend a bench or a table go into, at some point, this undeveloped park when we decide to develop it. And that's all I have.
Actually, Sunset's a not developable park and it has some benches.
Oh, I was hoping there might be an extra bench in inventory somewhere. Yeah.
Not currently, but there could be some extra picnic tables coming up soon. I do have an Eagle Scout that's interested in building some for us.
Okay.
Thank you, Wayne.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert. It's Robert's turn, staff report.
Yeah. So this Parks Master Plan update is underway. MIG is the company that was selected, and they were actually the ones that were involved in the master plan update that took place about, 14 years.
2008.
2008, thank you. So it's kind of neat that we were able to bring them back, and they have a good idea and understanding of the city and have some information and resources already on hand. And so they are planning on making an appearance at next month's meeting here in this room. So be prepared for that conversation. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like just yet, but that is when the Parks Board's involvement will begin officially. So we are definitely looking forward to that process beginning. It's something that we spoke about for a long time, and we are compiling a lot of information behind the scenes and getting them resources for those different groups that are going to need to be involved, whether it's sport groups, neighborhood associations, just other groups that are in Keizer. So it's going to be a good process. Really looking forward to having that updated. Leaves, they were mentioned. They came down really, really quick this year. I don't know what happened. I've been dealing with leaves in Keizer for almost 13 years now, and I swear we were just saying a week ago, man, the leaves are kind of holding on. Look at them. They're just like hanging up there. And all of a sudden, yesterday, they all decided to drop. And now it's pouring down rain. So this is great. We've been taking a new approach on leaves and trying to mow as many of them as we can with our large recycling mowers. We grind them up, they turn into mulch, they disappear, and the grass stays happy. And right now it's really wet and soggy, and so we're struggling through that. So I don't know where that's going to go just yet. We're taking it day by day. Claggett Creek Park was mentioned earlier. It is absolutely under construction on the south end off of Dearborn. The play structure is in the process of being replaced, as well as the swings. That is a project that will have rubberized surfacing installed, and we're hoping, the contractor believes, they will be done by the 20th of this month. There is a very slight chance that with a weather delay, they may need an extension, but they are working very, very fast to get that project done. They were down there pouring concrete this afternoon, and they have been making very good progress each and every day. So we hopefully will have that buttoned up this month and open and usable to the public very, very soon again. As well as we had the parking lot on the north side off of Shamala widened and repaved, resurfaced. So we have almost doubled the amount of parking that parking lot can see based on us widening it, and allows for head-end parking on both sides of the parking lot now. So when we have large events, soccer games, rugby, different people using the sports field, I won't say they won't be parking on the street in the neighborhoods, but they will be less likely to have to go park in the street. So it was very nice to be able to expand the size of that and allow for a lot more parking. And that project turned out very nice. We were actually able to get it striped just before the rain hit. And I have ordered new parking wheel stops or bumpers, whatever you want to call them. And those will be in hopefully next week, and we'll get those installed to keep people from driving all out through the park or accidentally going in the detention basin. So yeah, that was a very good project, and glad to have that behind us just in time for the rain to get here. So
I noticed they cleaned up the detention basin also.
yeah, inmates did that in August or September, I believe it was. That's a yearly reoccurring project. So
I have a question for you, Robert.
yes.
There was an effort at one time to flatten out the soccer field there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's in the floodplain.
Mm-hmm.
But now we own the other side.
Mm-hmm.
We could technically remove the fill from the other side. It's in the floodplain.
Could be done, but that's not something we're looking to do right away, I will say.
Well, I know it wouldn't be right away, but if you,
It's possible down the road, a project could happen on the other side that would allow us to move where water could sit, yes. So
make a detention pond over there.
it could, it's not impossible. It'd be a big project, heavy, big equipment to move some mega soil, but it could potentially be done.
I didn't say do it this one.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
Robert,
Yes.
may I ask a question? On the extension of the parking lot expansion, how many more cars do you estimate can park there on the north side of Tomorrow's?
About 25 additional vehicles.
That's
Yep.
25 less cars you'll see.
Yep.
That's good. I was thinking, boy, that's really good.
Yeah, we added 20 new lined stalls, but then over by the bridge, there's an area that's we've created a kind of an overflow
Yeah.
piece. So
Turn around.
about 25, yep.
Good job.
Thank
That's all.
you, Robert. Roland.
Yeah, I just want to welcome Dustin too also. And how come you always give the north view to the new guy?
It's easy.
Not north view, it's North Ridge.
Ridge, yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Mostly, council, I have to report, is we've been working on council sessions in terms of working on our, they call it the value statement for inclusivity. And it's been quite interesting. Last night was we have one more, but last night was one that I was talking to Dylan here. We had as a speaker was Benny Williams with the NAACP, and he was really, he brought up some really good stuff, and it was very, he set the tone for the meeting. It was a lot less tense than before, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and there was a lot of good input. One thing I will say is the community has been really involved in input for this, and anytime you have community involvement, it's always a good thing. That means more people, and more people are watching and participating, which I think is great as far as representing. The other thing I want to talk about a little bit was our public safety coordinating council met today, and some interesting things coming along. Now that we're Zooming, and the legislative breakfast is coming up in December, and that's a big thing for our county because we participate as an entity from Keizer in talking to the legislators in regards to matters affecting our county, especially our city. Anyway, that's one thing I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to mention was Monday we have a Keizer United, and if you've never been in tune with Keizer United, I think it's a really good group. It's made up of different organizations from the Keizer area, whether it's a church, religious community, or the schools, nonprofits, fire department, all entities. And Matt, you've been to to Keizer United, and it's really good because you get to see what everybody else in the community is doing, and that's Meredith is doing a really great job leading that. I'm really grateful that we have that group. So it's Keizer United on Monday. Of course, we have a council meeting on Monday night too at 7 o'clock, and like I say, there's been a lot more participation in watching the meetings, and our TV folks are doing a really good job. They also do it in Spanish, so I think it's kind of interesting, neat, a very good thing. The last thing I had was, okay, welcome Dustin. Tomorrow we have our traffic safety. Is it tomorrow, 6 o'clock?
Tomorrow's Wednesday, it's a holiday.
Oh, it's gonna be Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, and by the way, Thursday is also the West Keizer Neighborhood Association, is that correct?
Yes.
So I'll plug that in for you guys, yeah. And they're right here in the lobby, so, they always have cookies, that's what I like about going to their.
I don't know if they have cookies because of the COVID thing.
Well, I'll have to bring some. Anyway, and thanks a lot for you guys' work. I just gotta say this, and I tell Robert this all the time. We have a mower in our area that is just the perfect guy to mow yards, mow parks. Not only does he do his job really well and very conscious of the park, and Franklin is, everybody knows him in our community, so it's a really good thing when, and I really encourage that, when our staff have a relationship with the community that they're working, and he's just an incredible guy. All the kids know his name and everything. He's a pretty cool guy. He does really good work. So I know I've told you 2-3 times already, but I had to shout out to Franklin on that one. Thank you. That's all I have. I mean, that's pretty much what we've been working on.
Thank you, Roland. Other business, Matt?
Well, what if I was the one who had other business this time?
I was going to
You
call
got
it
some?
Matt's.
I
minute,
don't.
but-
So I just first want to take a second to acknowledge Dylan, who had the courage to run for city council. It was great to see somebody step up and put themselves out there like that. And I just appreciate Dylan's effort on that. And hopefully we'll see him be successful at some point. But, it was successful in the fact that, he got folks out there to recognize that maybe it's an opportunity to look at some people that don't have as much gray hair in their beards and hair and everything else like that. And so I just really wanted to acknowledge Dylan and thank him for taking the swing at that. So it's always great to see good people around you be successful with a great campaign. So as Councilor Herrera mentioned, I did attend the Keizer United meeting last month. I gave kind of a general update on some of the park stuff. We talked a lot about the Wallace House project that had just recently happened and some other projects, specifically talking about the master plan. And I just want to really kind of put an exclamation point on how important it is to engage in the master plan process. This will be the first time probably ever, with the exception of Keizer Rapids, that a master plan is going to really start to bear fruit fairly quickly. As many of you recall, up until a couple years ago, with $336,000 a year, Robert's ability to take projects forward was almost non-existent. And so because of the work that this body did and because of the council creating the parks fee, we're actually in a position now with a 3 to 5 year plan where Robert can start to really kind of execute some of those master plan concepts, which is a fantastic opportunity. So with that being said, as Wayne brought up with some benches at some of the non-developed parks and some of the other parks out there, take a look at your favorite park, take a look at a park you've never been to in the community and really kind of see the vision of what could be in those particular parks. I think for the most part, this is a housekeeping master plan that doesn't necessarily preclude any additions to some of those things, but this is a really, really good time to be engaged, to get down in the nitty gritty and want to talk about some of these things. I think one of the big things that we're really I'm personally very excited about, and I think Clint is and Roland is and anybody that's been around baseball, is hopefully Little League fields will be brought into the master plan, which for the first time will make them eligible for some additional city funding that may not have been available before. So it's kind of a big deal. So keep your ear out for the master plan. Subscribe to the city's Facebook page and their various email opportunities so you can stay up to date with that. Come to these meetings, pay attention on Channel 23 or online or whatever, but engagement on this process is going to be really important. So I think that's it. Oh. The 16th, I've got to go the 16th anyways for another thing for council. So if you don't want to do the 16th, I can do the 16th for you.
It's the last chance.
Yeah, I bet Clint wants to go. He's leaving the,
Actually, I'd rather, when is your next time out?
I don't know, but
I'll trade with you, that's all right.
Clint, December's going to be your last meeting.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah,
we'll do it the 16th. I'll see you then.
all right.
I just got to be there for other business as well, so.
So Clint, how many years have you been on this board? Since the city was founded?
Not that old. How many did?
I'm looking. I got to find you. Where are you?
It was the old building, right?
No, I think we were here.
Probably looking right at him.
Didn't meet in the old.
8 years.
What
8
the
years.
heck?
8 or 10 years.
2, 3.
So December's your last
There,
meeting, right?
wait.
Mhm.
Thought I saw him.
2005 is when it shows he joined.
There you are. 6.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's because this
Shoot.
is a new one when he leaves. That's why. Okay. 2005.
Pretty prepared.
Well, thank you for all the service that you've brought to us and all the information on the baseball park. I know you're an expert on that, and we've a lot more than most of us. So we appreciate your efforts, and when you will be missed.
He's back next month. We have to be nice to him right now.
Well, yeah, he'll probably just be out there asking for a grant for the baseball park.
So Clay, you'll still be watering out there at Keizer Rapids though, right?
Probably. A lot of work to do out there.
Yeah.
You have to break in a new waterer out there.
What's really bad out there is you've been to the dog park. The gophers in the dog park are just incredible. You can't even believe the holes in that dog park. And a whole truckload wouldn't fill the holes.
Wow.
So,
Do the dogs help with those holes for the gophers?
I don't know, but we've got a couple of guys that have been working on filling them.
All right. Having said that, we're going to adjourn at 6:47.
Not much you can do about gophers, is there?